cancel event type, change event. So how to represent a diagram, everything. So the next, so in previous class we have discussed this, right? The sample state model where the phone will be in a idle state, on it will be in a on hook. So when you take over from off hook, it will go to the dial tone. So from the dial tone we have a different state, right? So it will go to the dialing. So when it comes for a dialing, so we need to repeat the dialing of a number with n numbers, because we have a n number telephone numbers, right? So while dialing, so there are two or three different things that can happen. So once it can have a timeout, so when it goes for a timeout, it will go for a warning and it will go to the idle state once again. Or else, if it is when you are trying to dial, when you have dialed the number, so when it is in a dialing state, so it can go, the number whatever you have dialed may be an invalid number. So if the phone number is an invalid number, then what happens? A recorded message will be displayed. If the number is a valid, then what happens? Other two things can happen. So either the number may be busy or the trunk may be busy. So if this doesn't happen, then what happens? The call will be routed. When the call gets routed, it goes to the ringing state. So when it comes for a ringing state, what happens? The call will be connected. So once the call is being connected, after the conversation, again the call can be disconnected. Once the call is get disconnected, again it will go to the previous state. So that is how the state diagram is going to work. So the next what we have is a one shot state diagram. In our state diagram, we can have a loops, as we have in a programming language, we have a looping statement, right? So similarly, we can have a loops. So what is this loops in a state diagram? So here in a previous diagram you might have seen, so if the number is invalid, again what you will do, you will keep on trying to dial the number. So once you are keeping dialing of a number, it is a repetitive process. So how you can come out of this, or how you can keep the phone in a continuous loop, so that can also be represented with a state diagram. In state diagram, what we have a different state. So that states can be a finite state, which contains a initial state and a final state. So with respect to the initial state, what happens? The object enter, whatever the object that has been created, all these objects will be taken care for entering into the state. So what about the final state? So it is nothing but a destruction of object. That means once all the activities is being over, then what happens? The objects has to be destroyed. So that will be taken care by the state diagram. In a next, what we have an example of a chess game which illustrates the one shot diagrams which represent a finite states. Say for example, when we are playing a game, it's a system where, if consider if there are two players are there who are playing a particular game, so till the end what happens, each will get a one turn. So that turn can be taken as a white turns and a black turns. So the solid circle what you are seeing here, are you able to see the diagram?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The solid circle indicates the initial state. So from the initial state, so the first will be the white turns. So once the white, whoever is using a white pawn, once he or she moves the pawn, then what happens? It will come back to the black's turn. So again, what the black turn will do, he is going to move the pawn, and again it will go to the white turn. So this process is a repetitive process. So this we call it as a looping statements, or looping turns in a state diagram. So how to end this loop? We need to end the loop. So how can we enter the loop, so by using a checkmate. So either if white is going to give a checkmate for a black, so then the game gets over. Or if the black pawn, whoever is using, if that person is going to give a checkmate to the white, so he will be the winner and the game is getting game will gets over. So that is how we are trying to use. So once how to indicate the end of the state in a state diagram, we are using a bullseye. So the solid circle is surrounded with a hollow circle, so this symbol we call it as a bull's eye. So by using this, we are identifying the which is a initial state and which is a final state. So this is how we represent a one-shot state diagram for a chess game. So next we have a one more way of representing the state diagram. So here what happens, we have a two different things. We have an entry point and we have a exit point. So what is this entry point or and exit point when we are trying to utilize within a system? So the entry point is nothing but when the game is going to start, or when the state when the object enters into the state to perform its own temporal behavior, that we call it as a entry point. So once the states gets through various states, once the object gets into the various states, so what happens, it can move to the exit point. So how it can be done? Again, here we have a chess game. So here we have an initial point, so that point we are calling it as a start point. So here what happens, at the beginning the white's turn will get. So once the white pawn is moved, then again the next turn is a black's turn, so he is going to move the pawn. Then again once the pawn is moved, again it will go to the white's turn. So this process again it is a repetitive. Here with respect to previous diagram, we have a difference here. So what we are using here, we are using a destruction of the object. So once everything once all the state is being reached, here what we are trying to do, we are trying to destroy the object. So how can we do that? So if white is going to give a checkmate, white gets a checkmate from the black, then black is going to win. Okay, so or else there are two other options. The match can be drawn from both white and a black. Both of them can withdraw the match. Or else if white is giving a checkmate to the black, then what happens, white is going to win. So the destruction here, once the winning position or winner is declared, then no other entry or exit point or no other states can be reached. So here what we are doing, we need to destroy the object. So here we are using a cross mark. So this X mark or a cross mark, whatever we are going to call, we call it as a destruction object, which is a exit point. So once it enters all the states, so what happens, we need to destroy the object. So that is how we are trying to indicate a state diagram. Next, what we have a summary of a basic state diagram notation. So here what we need to do, whenever we are trying to write a state diagram, we need to summarize the basic UML syntax. So here what we have a rounded box. So in a rounded box, we are trying to indicate the name of a state, do activity. So what event that the particular state is going to perform. So that we are specifying here, or the effect that we are going to specify here. So after describing this, so we need to transit to the next state. So while transiting from one state to the next state, there can be a condition. Depending upon a condition, the next state can be taken care. So how we can take, so that can be taken with respect to the event attributes or the condition or the effects. So depending upon these things, the next state will be executed. So this is a basic diagram that how we are going to represent a state model. So next, in a short, we can describe some of the key terminologies. So the first one is a state. So state is nothing but a temporal behavior which represents which gets a response due to the external stimuli. So how do we represent the state? So we are using we are trying to draw with a rounded box with the optional name. Okay, so the again, with respect to the state, before the state gets executed, so what we need to have, the any system should have an initial state. So that initial state will be indicated with a solid circle, and the final state will be indicated with the bull's eye or with the encircled X. So this we have used in a chess game where to indicate a destruction of a object, or we can also use a bull's eye to indicate the end of a system. That means there are no further transition from the state. To indicate that, we are trying to use a bull's eye. Next is a transition. So what is this transition? So it is nothing but from the origin state to the targeted or to the destination state, a line will be drawn. So how this line is drawn? So with the arrowhead. So that arrowhead points to the next state, indicating that it has been transmitted from a previous state to the current state. Next is a event. So what is this event? So we have come across a various type of event. Either it can be a signal event, change event, or a time event. So all these things we are trying to indicate depending upon a system how the transition has to be followed. So if it is a signal event, so how the transition can be taken care with respect to the attributes. Or if it is a change event, so we are using a keyword when with a boolean expression. So within the expression which has been the boolean expression which we have written, so if that condition is true, then that particular event is going to occur, or else it will be a false. Next thing is a time event. So when that particular time is being involved or time occurs, so that event is going to be executed. So that is how we are trying to indicate a change event. So next we have a state diagram. In a state diagram, we have a enclosed rectangular frame with a diagram name in a small pentagon tag in the upper left corner. So you have seen in a telephone line example where the topmost corner we have written the name of the state diagram. So that is how we are trying to represent with the rectangular frame. Next is a guard condition. So it is not mandatory to include the guard condition in all the state diagram. So it is an optional. So if you want to specify any condition for a particular system, then you can write those guarded condition within a square bracket. Next is an effect. So that effect can be taken care with respect to the transition or a state. So how this effect can be identified, that we are writing within an event. So that will be listed by using a slash operator. Okay, so next we need to observe how this state diagram behavior is going to change. So for that, what we need to do, we need to identify the activity effects. So for this activity effects, what we are trying to use, so the first thing that we are trying to use is, so how the behavior is going to be executed with respect to a response to an event. So what type of event it is, what state it has to be changed, so how the state will be changed depending upon a situation. And after changing the situation, so how the state is going to behave with respect to the temporal behavior that has to be observed. So that can be taken care with respect to our example, that is a telephone line. So in a telephone line, what we have used a disconnect has an state. So how the phone line gets disconnected, so that can be an activity. So here what happens, once the phone gets disconnected, it will go to the on hook event. That means you're trying to place the telephone with its original position. So the receiver will be on hook. Okay, so once the line is being disconnected, so what happens? You are trying to keep that phone there. Next thing is, an activity may be performed upon a transition. So how that activity you can perform? So whether it is an entry state or whether it is an exit state, or whatever the state is there, either it is in between an entry or a exit state. So how the system is going to change, that has to be taken care, that will be taken care with respect to the operation. So we have represented we can represent a different operations. As we have seen in a class model, we are trying to indicate a operation in a separate event, so that can be taken care. So next is a, so how can we represent this activity effects within a state model? So here what we can see, we can see the notation slash here. So that slash, we are indicating what activity has to be carried within that particular state. So here is an example for pop-up menu activity. So we have a system, idle system. Okay, idle has a state, and we have a visible menu has a one state. So from a idle state, when you right click the button, so what happens? The pop-up menu will be displayed. Say for example, I will right click here. Are you able to see what I am performing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, when I have right clicked on the screen, so what happens? You can see some menu bars, right? Some menu is visible. So similarly, what happens? It display from the idle state to when you click or when you perform an event. So this is an event or a condition that has to be taken care. So when this has been executed, so what happens? System will move from idle state to the visible state. So when it moves to the menu visible state, it is a repetitive process. So why it is repetitive process? Either you can move the it depends upon what you are going to perform. So when you're either if you are moving a cursor, you can highlight the menu. Say for example, I will take a review here. Okay, or if I right click here, you can see the content. I can see the font color or font style, what I want to make it, or I can highlight it. So that is how the activity can be performed when the system moves from a idle state to the visible state. So once it reaches a visible state, again how we can move back to the idle state? So if you right click and if you button down, so what happens? Whatever the menu that has appeared, those menu will get erased, or the menu is going to disappear. So that is how we are trying to represent. Next is do activities. So whatever the state that we have written, so within that state we can also identify what activity has to be performed. So that we call it as a do activity. So it will be extended depending upon a time. So whatever the time duration that we have suggested, so within that time duration, this activity has to be carried out. So or the transition should happen. So for example, a light may flash during the paper jam state for a copy machine. Say for example, you have put up list some papers and you are taking a copy of those papers. So while taking a copy of that paper, so what happens? The printer may get jammed. So here what happens? From the active state, the printer is going to move to the jam state. So that is an activity, or it is an event. So when that event is going to happen, so some activity should be carried out. That is, paper jam is a particular state. So when the paper is jammed, what the user has to do? So that some activity has to be displayed. So what it will do? It will flash the light. So that is the flashing of light is an activity that will be performed by the machine to show the user that machine is not performing in a right way at that particular time or at that instance. So that is how we can indicate the state and activity. So next thing, when we are trying to display, one more way is when we are trying to display a picture on a television screen. So what happens? So sometimes it may flicker. So how does this happen? So due to the synchronization or due to the transmission, so what happens at that particular point of time, the screen will flicker, or the images or the pictures or a video will not be synchronized. So that is an one more example for a activity. So this is a diagram you can see here. So the state name of a state is a paper jam. So do is a keyword. So whenever we want to identify within a state what activity has to be performed when that particular state is being reached, so what we need to do, we need to use a keyword do. So after the keyword do, we need to use a forward slash. So after the forward slash, what we need to indicate, we need to indicate the message. So here when the paper gets jammed, so what happens, it has to give a warning light. So this is an activity that will be performed by the machine. Okay, so next is the entry and exit activities. So this entry and exit activities I have given with respect to an chess game, right? So where the entry point will appear. So when an entry point appears, so what happens, the white pawn will white turns will be taken care. So once white turn is get over, so what happens, the next is a black's turn. So black will execute. So similarly this will be carried out. So when we are trying to use this entry and exit state from one state to another state, so here what happens, user can identify what are the different activities that can happen within a system. So one more example that we can take here is a automatic opening of the garage door. So how the garage door can be opened automatically when we are trying to push a button, or how the door is going to close. So what are the different activities that can happen, that we can see here. So this is a diagram. So you can see the first diagram. It is the automatic opening and closing of the door. So what we have a different states here. So one is a open state. So to open the garage door. Next is a closing state. From the then close state and opening. So here what happens, initially if the garage door is closed, so what happens, if you are depressing the switch or a motor up, so what happens, from the closed state, so the door will begin to keep on opening. So from the opening, what happens, it will come to the open state. So when it comes to the open state, so what happens, the door will be in a open, and the motor will move from up state up to the on state to the off state. So once the door is in a open state, so after some duration, what you need to do, you need to close the door. So how do you do that? So for closing the door, again you are trying to depress the system. So once you are depressing the system, so what happens, the motor will get done. So while it reaches a closing system, so again what happens, if the user insists to open a particular door, open the door again, so again he will he will depress from the down state to the up state. So when it moves from down state to up state, again from closing it will move directly to the opening state, then the door gets opened. Or else what happens, from the closing state it will go to the closed state and the motor will get down. So this is how the different transition can be performed. So next here in 5.4, these are the activity of the transition, how the activities can be carried out. So for this same thing, if I'm going to add the activity, what operation should be taken care? So that can be taken with respect by indicating the particular activity. So here you can observe here, in a closed state, so it is an entry point, or what activity it is, in a closed state it will perform a entry point and it will perform a motor off. So when the motor is off, so what happens, the door will reaches the opening state. So when it reaches the opening state, so what happens, again it is an entry point. So from the motor will come from off state to the up state. So once the motor is in a up state, the door gets opened and it will be in a entry state itself, and the motor will become off, because why, it is an automatic opening of the door. So once the door gets open, the motor will be switched off. So from the open, if you are trying to move to the closing state, or if you want to close the door, then again you need to depress it. Again it will go to the closing state, where it again it is an entry state, and the more activity of a motor is a motor done. Again, once if the user depresses the key, so what happens, again it will go to the opening state. So this is a looping. So if he does not want to open it again, then what happens, it will move to the closed state, again the door gets closed. So this is how the entry of state will be taken with respect to an activity. Next, when we are using this entry and exit activity, so we need to identify how this event within a state is going to differ with the self transition. So here what happens, we are using a activities which are less or occasionally useful. So here what we are using, we are identifying with a slash character with the keyword. So what activity it has to be performed. So here it is one more example, or the previous example that we have taken. So we have taken a closed as a state. So when we have taken a closed state, so either the system will get a shutdown, or the motor will be off. So this will happen within a particular state. That means when the object reaches this closed state, so it will move, it will perform this activity, that is a shutdown activity. Then one more, what we have a self transition. So in a self transition activity, so we have taken a menu visible. So when we are trying to display the menu, so under the menu we have a different activities or different events that will be there. So that will be carried out when you are trying to place a cursor. So that is how we can identify the event within a state, or the self transition that occurs within a particular state. So the next thing is a complete transition. So when we are complete transition indicates, so all the states, whatever the states that we have written, so all the states has to be executed at least once, and it has to reach the final state. That means from the entry state, so whatever the states, if there are 5 to 6 states that you have written, so it has to execute, or the object has to go through with all the states until the final state. So that will be taken care by using the automatic transition. And that is, we are identifying which is our source state, and from source state till the destinator, or till the target final state, so how the transition is going to be carried out. So in such cases, so what happens, there can be unlabeled transition which are called as a complete transition. So how this complete transition are going to occur, so that will occur based on a triggering of an event, or triggering of that particular activity within a state. Say for example, I gave an example for a paper jam. So paper jam is an activity Okay, so what happens if the paper, while taking a copy, if the paper gets jammed, so what happens, it has to indicate the state. What is the state, what action has to be taken care once the paper gets jammed. Say for example, you are taking a print. Okay, so while taking a print, say for example, if there are no papers, so what happens, the system has to identify that there are no papers in a tray. So what happens, it will display a menu. It is an activity that will occur due to the execution of that particular state. So while taking a print, when it reaches a print state, it has to pull the paper from the paper tray. So when the system or a device is not able to pull the tray from the printer, so what happens, it has to inform the next state that there is a no paper. So no paper is a state. So what activity has to be taken care? If there are no paper, again you need to find an activity and you need to replace. And once you are going to replace that, so that state has to be executed. So for that, what we can do, we can also put a condition, that is a guard condition. So when you are trying to put a condition, so what happens, it has to be tested only once when the event is going to occur. Say it is your guard condition is like a conditions or a looping statements when which you are trying to utilize in your programming language. So if you are using a if condition, so that if statement will be executed at least once. So whatever the statement or if that condition is satisfied, so what happens, the corresponding statements will be executed. If the condition whatever you have written within a if statement is false, then it has to execute a else part. That means at least once that statement will be executed. So similarly, when you are trying to write a guard condition in a state modeling, so the state it has to be executed or it has to be tested at least once, so that there is a complete transition from one state to the another state. So that is how the observation is needed. So the next thing is, if we are using a state diagram, so what are the different conditions that can be taken care? So what are the guarded conditions? So how you are applying the guard condition? So what happens if that guard condition is going to be false? So whether the system has to move back to the original state, or it is going to affect the model, or you need to try to change the value of a model. So that has to be taken care when we are trying to use a complete transition. So the complete transition indicates that it has to be all the conditions has to be executed, or all the states has to be object has to take over all the different state at least once. Okay, next is sending a signal. So in a state diagram, we have identified a signal has a one of a event. So other than signal event, we can each and every object can communicate, or objects will communicate within their self. So how the objects are going to communicate within themselves? By using a signal. That is, one object can send the signal to the another object to perform a particular activity. So that we call it as a exchanging of a signal. Say for example, when we are using a telephone system, when you have dialed a number, so what happens, either you can have a 2 or 3 states. So if the number is valid, the call has to be connected. If the number is valid, though the call before connecting the call, so what happens, the number may be busy, or if whatever the number that you have taken, so the number itself may be a invalid number. So here what happens, if the number is invalid, so what happens, that object, the dialing of the number object will invoke the other object. So what is that another object? We have a one more state, that is a recorded message. So in a recorded message, what the object will do, it will identify the list of telephone numbers. So if the number is not valid, so what happens, it will check and it will execute the recorded message. That means what, it is trying to send the signal. So what activity has to be carried out. So one more example that we can consider is, so you are trying to switch on the system and you have opened a particular document. So at that particular moment, if your system is not able to load that particular application, so due to the shortage of space or due to the memory, so what happens, so the application may be in a slower phase. So in that case, what you need to do, you may require to clear the cache. So clearing of a cache memory, what happens, it will lead to the speeding up of opening a particular web page. So that is how you can improve the system. So here when we are trying to use a signal, so that signal can be directed with a single object or within a set of objects. That means what this particular, if we are having n number of objects, say object 1, object 2, object 3, if there are three different objects, so what each individual object has to do. So when the object is performing certain activity, so what effects can be applicable to the rest of the object. So when the receiving object is going to receive the signal copy of that current object, so how this objects can perform independently, in what way it can be executed, that has to be taken care. So next we have a again we have a state diagram for a phone line activities. So here there can be different ways of asking you the question. So the same telephone line example is there for a nested state diagram, is there for a sample state diagram along with the activities. So you need to understand the question properly. So if they ask, write a neat diagram of a sample telephone line diagram, so whichever the first diagram I have shown, that you need to write. So if the question is write a neat diagram for a telephone line along with the activities, then you need to use this diagram. Okay, so here what happens, so we have a telephone line system. Okay, so initially the system will be in a idle state. So from the idle state, if you are going if you are removing the if you are taking the receiver, it will go, it is a off hook. So what happens, you once the receiver is being taken from the idle state, you can listen the dial tone. So in a dial tone state, so you can see the activity. So what activity, do sound dial tone, that means it will make a sound that to indicate that whatever the system is there, the system is in a working condition. So to indicate that, we are using a dial tone. So from the dial tone, so you can see here various states. So one is a dialing, one is a warning, one is a timeout. So here what happens, from the dial tone, so if there is a timeout, then what happens, it will go to the warning, and it will when it reaches the warning state, so what the warning state will do, it will play a recorded message. So whatever the message is there, so it is going to display that. From the warning state, it will go to the timeout, and you can listen when it reaches a timeout state, so you can listen a loud beep sound. So from that state, you can go to the on hook state, or you can disconnect the line. So in a next case, so again when you listen a dial tone sound, so what happens, you will go to the next state, that is a dialing. So when the dialing state is reached, so what happens, the user will dial n digits. So it is a repetitive process. So after dialing the end digits, what happens? So either if the if there is a timeout, if it is not able to connect, then what happens? It will go to the warning and it will play the message and it will go to the disk idle state. Again, if you are trying to dial the number, so assume whatever the number that you have dialed is a invalid number, then what happens? It has to play a recorded message to the user that whatever the number you have trying to you have dialed, it is a invalid number or it is a wrong number. It will play the message. So play message is an activity within a recorded message. So once that gets executed, so what happens? It will go to the disconnected state. That means the user is going to disconnect the call. So once the number is a valid, assume if the case is a valid number, so what happens? It will go to the connecting state. So for connecting state, you can hear a different sound. So once it reaches a connecting state, again it from connecting it can have 2 or 3 different states. So one is a number busy. Say whosoever that you have called that person. So if you are getting a busy tone, it reaches. If the number is busy, so what happens? You will get a busy tone. So in that busy tone, what activity will be executed? It will identify the slow busy tone you can hear. Or else what happens? You can, if the trunk itself is busy, so if it is a IST call or a STD call, so what happens? If the trunk itself is a busy, you'll get a fast busy tone. So when it reaches a fast busy tone, you can hear that fast busy turn, and again what happens? You can keep the phone in a idle state. The previous state, whatever the initial state is there, it can move back to the initial state. Assume that it does not have an invalid number, or the number is not busy, or the trunk is not busy. In that case, what happens? When the phone gets connected, the call will be routed. So once the call is being routed, so what happens? The phone will reach the ringing state. So in ringing state, what activity it has to perform? It has to do the ring bell. That means it has to ring the telephone. The telephone gets the phone will be in a ringing mode. So once the phone is in a ringing mode, so what happens? The other side, the user will lift the phone and the call gets connected. So once the call gets connected, so what happens? After the entire conversation, so what happens? The phone gets hanged up, or once the message has been conveyed to the other user, you can disconnect the call. So once the call is being disconnected, then what happens? Again it is a loop. It will go back, the phone will go back to the idle state. So this is how we are trying to identify the nested activity within a state diagram. You have any doubt? Yes. Speaker, do you have any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Just don't go out. I have to check with your attendance, okay? Be online. Can you enter your USN number in chat box quickly, everyone? Last 2-digit number. If it is TD, you mention TD. Have everyone entered your USN?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can leave the meeting, ma.